Today, we're going to be going through a dinosaur-themed adventure.
We spared no expense.
Welcome to Dino World. Welcome everyone, I'm Sean, this is Tony, and today we're going to be going over the DM's Guild adventure Dino World by Celeste Konowich.
Now, I didn't run this adventure, but you ran this at one of your tables at Ignite Gaming Lounge.
Yes, Ignite Gaming Lounge that we are at every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time at Ignite Skokie if anyone's in the area. Sorry, got to plug that in.
We definitely got to plug it. But you ran this with your table, and how did it go? Was it a fun adventure to run? What's it all about, Sean?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this adventure already, at least during the time of this recording, it is kind of topping that DM's Guild adventure, list there, and for good reason. Basically, the adventure idea is obviously themed after Jurassic Park. The whole adventure actually takes place in an abandoned theme park that used to have dinosaurs in it. And again, without getting into spoilers, which we'll get to later in the video, it's kind of got this like really cool Eberron theme, and it even kind of tosses in a couple of different of the Eberron features if you are running an Eberron adventure. And it's got a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of fan service when it comes to the movies. There's a little bit of exploration because obviously you're going to be exploring throughout the park, and there's a good amount of combat. You're going to obviously be running into dangerous creatures, so combat in D&D and dangerous creatures usually go hand in hand.
Now, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, it's definitely Eberron themed with
yes.
it, and I think it's weird that we both picked Eberron adventures to run with our players.
Right, exactly.
But at the same time with that, you can take that out of the Eberron content. How hard was it to actually plop it into what you guys were doing?
Yeah, it was interesting because I know in our last review when we were talking about Sharn, which you can check out on our channel as well, you were talking about how it was like pretty easy to kind of like, take this out of the Eberron world and kind of dump it into whatever setting you're in. I noticed that there's a lot of Eberron references in here and mechanics that they even include, and not too much of a spoiler, there's a little bit of Warforged in here. So
well, it was like that was the same thing with Sharn, though.
Yeah,
it was very similar to that.
So if that's not really your thing, or if you're just like really not into running Eberron stuff at all, it wasn't horribly difficult. And then me personally, I actually kind of put more Jurassic Park kind of Easter eggs in there. So
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud
appreciate
of you. Now we are going to get into a couple little spoilers and get into the plot of it a little bit. So if you want to check it out before we get to the spoilers, go ahead and check it out here. You can find it on DM's Guild. It's Dino World by Celeste Konowich.
Yeah, it's a great small package. You can probably wrap it up in about 3 to 4 hours. You can make it a 2-session thing if you want, but it's really great for the price. Highly recommend it if you're stopping the video here.
Now, let's get into... Well, you've had your spoiler warning.
Yes.
That's enough. All right, so now we're getting into... I'm going to start by showing the map. This is going to be
a great selling point, by the way.
Right? Yeah. And there we are.
Yeah, and it's really funny because when I was looking through this adventure, as soon as I saw the map and when you kind of look at the little logo of the dinosaur, I was sold. I was like, oh, I gotta run this.
See, I don't know. It looks like Baby Bop from...
my table. Realized it at the end and they couldn't stop cracking up. But yeah, essentially the plot of this adventure is that there's this rogue military group, not called InGen. They're called the Fighting Fifth. And basically they've been spotted in the park kind of doing some odd goings on, and you've been hired by the local sheriff, who is named Billy Muldoon.
Oh, wow.
Very fitting. And he basically wants to makes you go out and find an informant that works for that military group called Raylene. I actually reflavored this. Instead of Raylene, I went with Dodgson.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically the main plot hook. They give you a couple plot hooks like, oh, I care about the dinosaurs, or like, oh, I just want some gold. And that's basically the reason why you're going to go to the park. And honestly, once you're at the park, if you actually read the adventure, there's different numbered sections that you'll see on the map. And the party is kind of free to kind of go around and go to different parts of the park.
Well, that's kind of neat with it. I mean, some of the areas in here, I don't see any. This is not the DM's version of it. This is the handout version of it.
Yeah.
But some of these things, like obviously we have our visitor center and everything else here in the beginning.
Of course. Yeah.
Is there any particular part of it that you found more exciting for your players than anywhere else?
So it's funny because when you actually go to the visitor center, Raylene or whoever you choose as the contact actually tells you that you need to find an employee ID card to get into the maintenance hut where, spoiler again, the final boss Nedry is actually holding himself up in.
Oh,
yeah,
it's Nedry, huh?
It is, yeah.
So what is his main plot though? I mean, what is he doing?
And it's funny because he doesn't really take like a really big part of the adventure until the end. I would have like maybe liked a little bit of build up to him, but it was fine. Basically, he's creating this like horrible creation of this mechanized T-Rex that he's kind of combined himself with.
He's gonna combine himself with the T-Rex?
Well, by the end, he does. And basically, you fight this really big mechanized T-Rex, and he's been using all the parts from all these dinosaurs. And the one thing that you actually learn about the dinosaurs is as you're exploring, and it's kind of interesting too, because the best way for your players to learn is immediately when I told my players we're going to run this adventure, I had like at least 2 or 3 people, oh, I'm going to be a druid, I'm going to be something that's good with animals. And then they try to do these, like they try to charm the animal, they make an animal handling check, and they realize it doesn't work because these dinosaurs are actually constructs. They're all fake dinosaurs.
So they're like animatronic.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of,
cool.
Yeah, interesting take. I know Jurassic Park is more so like a creation, but like here they're like really just like, they're considered constructs.
I'll just go to Chult.
Yeah, right. If you want the real deal. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I think this is a really awesome one here. I really, now I didn't get to see you play this, but I heard you dressed up.
I dressed up a little bit. I don't think you can really go without doing a little bit. So I dressed up as Dr. Allen for the adventure. It was a lot of fun. I really like the random roll table. It's just a D6 since it's a pretty short adventure, but each of the ones that you can run into are really, really fun. One of them, my favorite one, there's a mechanized Warforged that's dressed in like one of those like really cheap, like the Six Flags, like the furry suit.
Oh,
yeah, and he's walking around in this T-Rex suit. And immediately my players start harassing it, and they try to make fun of it.
Of course they do.
Of course, as players do.
Those things.
And my one ranger player who was actually there to help the dinosaurs, was trying to take care of the robot, and the robot actually has a potion of health, but it's in the form of a dinosaur gummy treat that you actually find. So
that's adorable, folks. That's if there's anything, that's adorable.
Yeah, and there's lots of other things like you can fight like pteranodons. You can actually gain a temporary baby brontosaurus companion. So there's actually a lot of really neat, really cute things in those random roll tables.
That's exactly what you want your players bringing to the next campaign.
I know, a pet
brontosaurus. Gosh. All right, guys, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick it up on the DM's Guild. Again, that's Dino World by Celeste Conwich. It is apparently a really great adventure to run. I'm going to have to run this with my players.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's a pretty short one. You can wrap this up in like one night if you want to do it in 3 to 4 hours, or you can extend it. There are a couple different locations in the park that you can go to, and the roll tables are a lot of fun. A lot of opportunity to kind of mess around the dinosaurs as well. So again, I highly recommend it. It's a really good adventure to run.
That's right. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time,
keep brewing.